Welcome back to Terrific Tuesday with myself and Terry Hay over there on my left, but again, always on my right. Race Masters, good to see you again today, hopefully with some of your numbers magic like usual. Terry and I try to make some magic as well with our picks at Parx. Terry getting the opening pick four and he missing by one horse in that $5,000 pick four. I feel like I had the two hardest legs with that 6-horse winning and then that 10-horse winning and paying $40. And then just somehow hitting that middle one. Whenever they're big, it's always tough to catch all four, I feel like.
That's right. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it was just that long shot, one horse in a race that I did kind of tag on my notes as an all race, but just with a $50 budget, can't all them.
Nope.
Few of those races, it feels like today again at Parx, where a lot of horses with an opportunity to win. Hopefully we can narrow that down and narrow down some winners that are free today at Louisiana Downs. You can get the link to that down in the description below for guaranteed tip sheet. Make sure you use that. And then, of course, when the show is over, like yesterday, we will post our notes as well as a replay of the video over at horseracingtoday.net. There is a link there as well. And while you're there, kindly hit on this HRT gear button up here in the corner. Get yourself a red number 1 t-shirt. We got it for men, got it from women. So the guys, for the ladies in your life, ladies, for you. Get the number 1 because we all know that women are number 1, unquestionably. Isn't that so, Terry?
It is so, yeah. My wife tells me that all the time.
Mm-hmm. She's watching right now, right behind you with a cast iron skillet. So you better make sure you behave. All right, race number 1 is where we'll start our terrific Terry Trifecta Tuesday. And they're going to start going a long way, and I don't want to highlight it in red. So while I highlight it in yellow, tell us the conditions.
Okay, it's 1 mile and 70 yards. It's an optional claiming race, $25,000 claiming price. If you elect to put your horse in there to possibly be claimed, like the number 1 horse, Check My 6, shows a $25,000 claiming price. First, $26,000 for 3-year-olds and upward, which have started for $16,000 or less, and which have never won 3 races, or a claiming price of $25,000, of which have never won 3 races.
That's a lot of action going on there, no?
Yes.
All right, so a 1 mile and 70 yard profile of a winner. Early speed does phenomenally well at Parx. 40% of the time, it does so well that if it gets to the lead, it stays on the lead and does not give it back. You also have post position rail penalty for Check My 6. Might struggle a bit with that. And then 2 and 3, a little bit of a bonus. 4 through 7, a small discount. 8 and out, a small bonus. 10,000 simulations, Terry, to tell us who has the best chance to get to the lead. That's in this column here. Based then upon how we think the race will play out early on, which horses have the best opportunity to be in their comfort zone. A race. Go ahead. You say a race with a, what were you going to say?
I wasn't. I just get a jumping ahead of myself here.
Well, a race with a pace that matches their best performances. Par plus 10,000 simulations to see how many times they run a speed figure of at least 87 or higher. And then we look for value. We want our simulation odds to be hopefully lower than post time odds. All right, Terry, go ahead.
Okay.
Floor is yours.
You can see there that the 4 shows the most speed, although several of these horses have speed. And then the 10 is the second best speed. Number 4 has an overlay from 5 to 2 to 3 to 1. The 8 has an overlay from 2 to 1 to 5 to 1. And the 10 has an overlay from almost 3 to 1 to 4 to 1. The 8, 10, 4, and 1 show par plus numbers, and all but the 7 have C zones, although a couple of them are pretty low.
Again, on the C zone, typically we want to score about 50 or more, meaning 50% of the time. Today, the pace will match their best performances. Our race shape tells us, and when we do trip handicapping here, and then we do over here, we do a little bit of pace handicapping. So we cover all the bases. 3 horses want to be on the lead. Nobody really with the lead or co-pilot. The 11 co-pilot, everybody else kind of middle back. The 1, 3, and 12, very versatile with that PC. The 2, 6, and 10 want to close. So early on, the pace does match up nicely for the 4. Prince Colton should be on your lead. The 8 and the 9 maybe have to work a little too hard as their pace might not be enough to get to the their preferred position. Marvelous Mood Dance, I don't know if that's necessarily co-piloting, but should still be in that mix early on. The 1, the 3, and the 12 in great position for their versatility. 2, 6, and 10. Let's see if any of them are going to close. Does look like Traffic Master of those is the most prolific closer, but really maybe a little left arrow action too. Going to be pretty close to the front today. Finally, our top total pace again. 70+% of the time, the winner comes from the top 4 in their total pace scores. Terry, we both agree on the first 2 today.
That's right. I like number 4, Prince Colton. Has won 2 races in a row, going for a hat trick, and has a high percentage winning trainer. Traffic Master, the 10's my second choice, finished in the money in his last 4 races, running second versus similar in his last start. The Ice the Kicker, the 8, is my third pick. He can improve while returning the dirt, switches to high percentage winning jockey Paco Lopez, and has a high percentage winning trainer. And then the 1 horse, Check My 6, is my long shot. Tried turf in his last race, didn't take to it, now returns the dirt where he's been doing well recently and has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. We get a $100 budget each day. We bet $2 to win on our first pick, a $1 exacta box on our first 2 picks, a 50-cent trifecta box on our first 3 picks, and a 10-cent superfecta box on our first 4 picks. And today we have 12 races. We normally have some money left over to bet, but alas, with 12 races, we don't. So all we can do is our normal bets each race.
Yeah, the second day in a row, Terry must be in glee as we get to go over our $100 budget. I'll be only at about 80 cents, but still. All right, I agree with you. 410, those are the 2 in the beginning that you probably have to look out for the most. I do worry a little bit about Prince Colton. He did win 2 in a row. Should be on the lead here too. 3 consecutive speed figure increases, a 15% angle according to Barry Meadows. I do worry a little bit about the horse running 3 consecutive peak numbers, though, so it is due for perhaps a little bit of regression today. Traffic Master, all that, and really not all that far away from winning 4 races in a row. It's a little bit of racing luck today, and probably could topple that 4, especially with some regression. Dansadini is my third pick in here. Most of his recent races are good enough to beat most of these horses in this field most of the time, and looks like we're going to get a decent price on Dansadini. And then finally, number 9, the Gatekeeper. Last time out, showed a huge jump in its inner race performance, with all of his numbers, race internals, being better across the board. So maybe a couple long shots there in the opener to add to the back half of what looks like the 2 form picks at the top of the ticket. We do have a bit of time before we get to the first race. We probably make it through the first 3 races, Terry, today, before we share what we see for race number 1. Before we do that, share what we see for race number 2.
It's a 7 furlong race, claiming $5,000 per claiming price. It's a purse of $18,000 for fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and upward, which have not won a race since January 23rd.
And 7 furlongs is the distance where early speed still wins more than it should, probably, but it's the least influential of all of the distance, it seems, at Parx on the dirt track. Only 19% of the horses go wire to wire. You still want to be middle forward. 1, 2, and 3 get a bonus. 4 and out, the winning rates drop the farther they get from the rail. So yesterday we talked a lot about inside 3 speed. It looks like for this race we're going to talk about inside 3 speed. Only 2 of them look like they're going to dominate early.
Yeah, that's true. The 8 on the outside has the most speed, followed up by that 3. And the only overlay I see is the 1. It's almost even money to about 7 to 5. Then the 1 and the 4 have a par plus numbers, and all but the 5 and 7 have C zones, but that 4 is almost like it doesn't have a C zone.
Yeah, pretty much. And then only 3 of them over 50%. Trip handicapping tells us that this race, well, this should favor the speed because everybody else is middle of back. The 7 horse, Oui Madame, not making it within 5 lengths of the leaders in its most recent efforts. So really, if the 4 or 8 can get out to a comfortable lead, they might be able to maintain that lead from beginning to end. Does look like the PC Shackelford Country should be a part of the early mix. The 4 and the 8 are going to be right there too. Of those 2, looks like the 8 might be the quickest of the bunch. At the end of the race, the closers will be coming hard at the end, the 5. Peace, Love, and Karma, about a length quicker than everybody else, although going to be well off the pace if its early pace remains the same. So maybe not enough space in 7 furlongs to use those legs to its advantage. Lip Lock, she got game. Wishing on a Prayer, Shackelford Country. Again, those top 4 with the red number 1 on top. Terry, who's on top of your picks?
I like the 3 Shackelford County. She ran second versus similar in her last race, and she has the best dirt speed among today's starters. Number 8, Wishing on a Prayer, is my second choice, switches to high percentage winning trainer and jockey. And that combination the last 14 days has won 2 out of 3 starts, and she has a good workout on July 15th. Lip Lock, the 1, is my third choice. She has a trainer wins 22% of the races when dropping a horse down 2+ classes, and she has a high percentage, highest last race speed rating. She's got game. The 4 is my long shot. She has a high percentage winning trainer, and this trainer wins 21% of the races when taking the horse from a route to a sprint, and the shorter distance should help.
Best bet of the day for Race Masters is the 1 horse, Lip Lock. All right,
okay.
I know you're about to tell us about your pick 4.
Yeah, that's right. We play a Miami Advice Don Johnson pick 4, and I'm going to use the 1-3-4-8 with the 1-4-6-8 with the 3-7 with the 7-8-10. I think that's a $48 ticket.
It is indeed $48. No question about that. I'm going to start with the 3 horse as well. Looks like in the early part of the day, we have some agreement. So I wouldn't expect these horses to have high odds. But if this one just improves a little bit in the second start after a layoff, Shackelford Country should be able to get that job done. And the maintenance work between races means the horse should be more fit. Lip Lock, our guy, Race Masters, best bet of the day. Did run the top last race speed. Figure is going to drop in class, is going to catch a weight break, and will be coming late as your top Par Plus horse, and it ain't close. Wishing on a Prayer, the 8 horse, this one's likely to get to the lead. And when you look through its past performances, when it gets to the lead, that's when the horse is most dangerous. That's exactly where that horse should be in the third start after a layoff. And then finally, number 5, Peace, Love, and Karma. Who couldn't hope for that, Terry? Was much better across the board with all of its race internals last out, and does have par class level back class. So the horse can hit par for this. I'm going to go pick 4, 1, 3, 5, and 8. Hopefully really catching the 8 horse on the 5 horse as your winner, or maybe the 8, the longest price. I'm going to go 3, 6 in the next leg, 2, 3, 7, and then 3, 5, 7, and 8 in the last leg. And just judging from our pick 4s, looks like we're about to go from agreement to disagreement for most of the rest of the card. Race number 3, Terry, is next for you and me. We can agree on the conditions.
It's a mile and 16th. It's a claiming race, $7,500 claiming price, purse $21,000 for 3-year-olds and upward, which have never won 3 races.
Why do they have no? Maybe because it's been so hot there, Scary, that the track might be a little slick. I'm not sure, because I know when it gets really hot, I've read that the grass gets really hard because the ground gets really hard and becomes more slippery. I'm not sure, and they can't really take the rollers over it and dig up the turf. That would be my guess. Good evening. Parx races in Turkey, starting the 4th race. I'll help my friends from Turkey. First 6 races will be my prediction as below. All right. There are Nemsies. Thank you for joining us from Turkey. We appreciate that. Hopefully it's beautiful there right there today. There's some more Turkish picks for you as well. I know from watching the novellas, there's a lot of beautiful women in Turkey. That's for sure. If you've ever seen a Turkish novella, Terry?
No, I haven't seen that.
Nah, well, I've seen one on TV. All right, race number 3, a mile and a 16th, Terry. Looking for the profile of a winner. We see early speed does great, 38% of the time. Gate to wire winners, a rail bonus for Major Cam. 2 and 7 play fair, 8 and out, a big discount. So you can be fast on the rail in race number 3. You could have a big advantage. Unfortunately, Major Cam doesn't have it.
Well, that's true. All of them show speed, but the 7 shows the most speed, followed up by the 4. And then the 3 has an overlay from, it's really small. It's from 9-2 to 5-1. All but the 5 and 7 have Par Plus numbers, and all of them show C zones.
Only, again, 3 above 50%. And you see a lot of different horses with a lot of ways to win, according to our simulations. So this race looks to me like Yeah, a lot of horses with a lot of chances in this race. Most of the horses want to be middle forward, so maybe your closers have a chance. Although you got two Sesame Street horses here with the 5 and the 6, and the 5 being the most versatile horse in the race. So I think 5 can get a good trip, might be the one to watch out for. Early on, our pace tells us Carnivore, about 3/4 of a length. Well, there's that 8 horse. That's a closer with enough early speed to get to the front. You know how I love those left arrow horses. Terry, looking at the late speed, Game Run, going to be coming hard at the end along with Mr. Moore. Those two are considerably faster than everybody else, and everybody else is bunched up front. So maybe they have the race advantage in terms of tactical positioning. They are the two top total pace horses, with Mr. Moore about 4 points or 3 points clear of everybody else, except for the 1 and the 5. It looks like a pretty competitive race, Terry. What do you have?
I like Mr. Moore, the 6 horse. He finished third versus Tupper in the last race, drops in class, has the highest speed, last race speed rating, and he has a trainer wins 18% of the races when taking a horse from a sprint to a route. Carnivore, the 8's my second choice, drops in class today, can improve while returning to a route, and he has the highest speed figure at today's distance. His best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters, actually tied with the 4 Edge of Glory. He finished third versus similar in his last race as a favorite, but this trainer, high percentage winning trainer, wins 30% of the races when bringing a beaten favorite back to race again, and he has his best dirt speed fastest among today's starter. That's my third choice. My long shot is Major Cam, the 1. He ran second versus similar in his last race. The rail post is winning 21% clip, and he has a high percentage winning trainer.
Mr. Moore, again, Terry and I agreeing on the front pick, and then a little bit of disagreement afterwards. But Mr. Moore did run much better fractions last out and going to drop in class. So improving and facing lighter company today. The Game Run, the 3 horse, similar fractions last time out, despite going a little bit longer. And all of the race internals, again, improved. So a horse on the incline. Wilkinson Warrior, the 7 horse, a little bit of a price. Going to drop in class after not being involved in his last race. But everything before that fits here. Does have an okay workout since. Number 4, Edge of Glory. That's my final choice. That is the morning line favorite there. Is the most consistent horse in the race. And of course, anytime Jamie Ness and Rumens Rivera team up, well, by golly, you better think about putting those horses in your picks because they tend to win an awful lot. Looks like we have a little bit of time before race number 1 gets cracking at Parx today. Terry, while we wait for race number 1, people shouldn't wait to do what if they want to see everything that we do?
Well, they should subscribe to the our YouTube channel, and go down and hit the little bell so that they're given they're told when our shows are coming up, and then go down and copy the link and share it with all their friends, relatives, everybody they know. They can come and check us out. Go to our social sites at Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, X, Threads at Horse Race, the number 2 day, and give us a thumbs up and or a like, and that will help us out quite a bit.
Yeah, any interaction, including comments. So if you have any questions like Race Masters or Scary Creations, you're in Turkey, you have some questions, you're in Venezuela, because we tend to get a lot of South Americans watching as well too. Hit us up with some questions, comments, suggestions, picks. We really like picks around here. If there's something that you like, let us know. We just don't like Christopher D'Souza or Scary Creations picks when they are contrary to our pick 4 picks, because they tend to be silver bullets to Dracula. They're killers, unquestionably. All right, so race number 1, they are getting into the gates right now in the opener. It does look like the 4 horse is the 2-1 favorite. The 10 horse right behind at 3-1. Then the 2 horse down from 6-1 to 12-1, from 12-1 to 6-1. That one's getting a little bit of action in there. Looks like, according to our simulations, the horse that you might want is the 8 horse. Ice Kicker has 2-1 simulated odds right now, 4-1, and then the 10 horse 3-1, 3-1, right on target. The 4 horse maybe a little bit of an overlay right now. Other than that, Everything else looks to be about the same. Are they having some sort of issues because the camera angle has changed to that funky camera angle again whenever there's problems? No, looks like they're all coming in just a little bit slowly. The favorite just entered the gate. A couple of them kind of hesitant behind the gate there. Now they're trying to put the 4 in. It's the 4 that's being hesitant. He's kind of putting up a fight. Doesn't want to go in. Puts his nose into the gate and then says, yeah, I think twice about that. Come on now. Or is that the 6 horse that doesn't want to go in? I think the 4 is in. I think it's the 6 horse. The 30-1 shot. Supreme being a supreme pain in the. No, that's actually the 4 horse that doesn't want to go in. Looks like the 6 horse. Yeah, the 4 horse is really acting up. Wouldn't be surprised to see that one. It doesn't stop acting up to see the favorite get scratched. Everybody running to the window right now to cancel their tickets on the 10-4 because he's really putting up a fight. He does not want to work today, Terry.
No.
He's wishing he could call in. No, he is not interested in running today, folks. Finally, he goes in. He's rearing up, though. He's really kind of agitated. Something's got him a little PO'd right now, Terry. He's going to come out of that gate like his tail's on fire because he don't want to be in there. You can't get him to straighten out. Yeah, if this horse gets off to a good start, it'll be surprising to me. Because they finally calmed him down a little bit. So, and then they're waiting for the 12 horse to go in. And that one goes in without a problem. They're all in. They're still fighting with that 4 horse, though. He does not want to be there. And they're off and running. And he did come out of that gate like he's mad as hell that they put him in there, Terry. So he ran to the lead, got to the turn first. So the 4 horse right now, Prince Colton is on the lead. Behind that is that 8 horse. Ice the Kicker, the one that we mentioned, might be the best value. Does have a strong par plus score. Is in Terry's picks as the 3rd pick. The 9 horse, the long shot, sitting in 3rd. They're running comfortably right now. And then you have the 10 horse in 4th. The leading 4, probably about length ahead of now. Looks like the 11 horse is getting into the mix. Marvelous Moon Dance. You got a big break to a bunch of other horses in there. So they went through the opening quarter, I think, probably a little bit fast, 23-1. So that 4 horse Prince Colton not being happy being in the gates at all, firing out of there with a lot of energy. 47-3, going pretty quick. If that horse hangs on to that, he's running a big race. You got that 9 horse on the outside making a pretty aggressive move with the 8 horse there in the mix. Here comes the 9, found his way into 2nd place at a pretty good price. He's going to have to run pretty wild all the way around the track, but he is involved. Looks like that one might go by them all. You have the who's that out there? Tough to tell. I really hate being able to see. Around the corner they come. The 9 horse has got his nose all cocked up, trying to figure out which way he wants to go. You got a lot of horses wandering all over the track, Mr. Terry. The 1 horse is coming aggressively at the end. It looks like that one might be the one that you got to look out for here. It is the one that you got to look out for because the 4 and the 9 were bumping off of each other pretty aggressively. So your long shot, my long shot, put them together, check my 6. I think that was
it was Race Master's pick, yes. The 1 horse.
So that one went off at 5-1.
All right.
The 9 horse went off at 16-1 or 15-1. And if not for all that goofy running into the 4 and stuff, that was just a little bit of a funky race right there. So take the 2 long shots, get yourself a pretty nice exacta box right there.
Yeah.
Yes, we saw that. Check my 6. Great call, Race Masters. Now we're going to call what we think will happen in race number 4, Mr. Terry.
That's right. We sure are. And it's going to be a 1.70-yarder again. And it's a $15,000 claiming race, purse $28,000 for 3-year-olds and upward, which have not won a race since April 23rd, claiming races for 12.5 or less not considered, or which have never won 4 races.
Yeah, and we just saw 1.40 yards. A horse comes from off the pace. The horses up front, though, probably ran a little bit too fast. Ordinarily, early speed does win. I think 23-1 and 47 probably too fast. There's a little bit of a rail penalty for Yes, Sir, Colonel. 2 and 3 a bonus, 4 through 7 a small discount, 8 and out a small bonus again. Gary, take us away through all the simulations.
Yeah, so we're gonna have seven's gonna show the most the best speed, although almost all of them show some kind of speed. The three has an overlay from about 3 to 5 to 4 to 1. The 3, 6, 7, and 2 are all par plus numbers, and especially that three. And then all but the four show some kind of C zones.
And plenty of them above 50%. In race 4 to race shape, nobody really wants to be on the lead. Though the 5 and 7, they can be pilots or co-pilots. You got a lone P horse, so this horse race tilts towards the back of the field. That's where the majority of the horses want to be. So again, front runner should be all right. Sheriff Ronnie could be the front runner, although Re-Rally, Secret Path, similar early speed to its inside. So the 7 might have to work to get to the front. Secret Path does have the most late speed, tied with 4 others or 3 others in there. Really not a big gap, though, between the 2 and the 6. The speed horse there, Sheriff Ronnie, might need to save a little bit early on to have a little bit more at the end. Secret Path is your top total pace horse. Should be up front. Most late speed. Might be one that's difficult to pass today, Terry.
Yeah, I like Secret Path, the 3. He finished in the money in his last 4 races and won 2 of those starts, running second in the last race at Parx Racing. And he has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. Sheriff Ronnie, it's a 7, is my second choice. Comes in from Pimlico to Parx Racing, where he's had 2 wins out here and out of 3 starts, and drops in class today. He has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. Kingsville, the 8's my third choice. He finished third versus Tupper in his last race, drops in class. He has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. Roman Empire won his last race at Parx Racing, and his best start speed is fastest among today's starters. He's my long shot. My second pick 4, Miami Vice, Don Johnson, is 378, 7810, 135 with the 257, a $40.50 pick 4.
I'm going to start with the 3 horse 2 on top. It didn't work out for us in the first race, agreeing on that first horse. So hopefully somewhere along the line it does. But if this horse reruns any of its last 4 races, it would be enough for Paco Lopez to get another win at Parx. Roman Empire says this horse should be better in the second start after a layoff. And the first one was the top last race speed figure. Sheriff Ronnie, this one, as you mentioned, Terry, won 2 of 3 at Parx. Last time the horse ran at this distance was a 7 1/4 length win, although that's the only win at the distance, if my memory is correct. And then Re-Rally, the 6 horse, in the money, 7 of 11 at Parx. Enough back class that I think this horse bounces back here. I'm going to go 2-3-7 over to 3-5-7-8 over to 1-3-5-7 over to 3-7. That is another $48 pick 4 for me. Race number 5, again, another day, Terry, with 12 races. So managed to get through in a little more than an hour yesterday. Let's see if maybe we can do it in an hour today.
All right, 6 furlongs, claiming price 7,500. Purse 20,000 for fillies and mares 3-year-olds and upward, which have not won a race since April 23rd.
It went off at 11-1 going to the gate. It's funny how that works all the time, Race Masters. And I feel like that is one of the hokiest things in all of horse racing. I feel like that they should, in this day and age where you can text somebody on the other side of the planet in an instant, they should be able to have the odds set when the gates open. It just seems to me that it shouldn't be that difficult anymore. So 6 furlongs, it is the most common distance. Tactical speed does great. 37% of the time, you win on the lead. That takes you directly to the winner's circle. A bit of a rail bonus for Vatemi. 2 and 3 fair. 4 and out, a discount. Closer to the rail, the better off you are again. Gary, this is another one I feel like it's wide open, so maybe we can get some clues from all of our simulations.
Well, it looks like the 3 has a lot of speed compared to all the other horses, so that 3 should get there to that finish line first. And then the 7 has an overlay from, about, what is that, about
3 to 5, 4 to 5, somewhere there, yeah.
3 to 1. And the 8 has an overlay from 7 to 2 to 5 to 1. 7 has the most par plus number, but they all show some kind of par plus, or most of them do. And then all but the 4 and 8 show a C zone, although some of them are pretty low, like the 5 and the 8.
As far as our race shape goes, Terry, looking at this in the 5th race, 3-horse, Matty Bow could be a lone E. Everybody else, middle back. Get to the front, and a lone E a lot of times can be a winner. Does look like Matty Bow will be in that spot at the end of the race as they come home, Terry. Peyton's College, Rolls-Royce Joyce, Lean On E, a lot of them. Very similar neighborhood, sharing a very common zip code. Our top total 4 pace horses got 7, 8, 9, and 10. The 4 outside horses well ahead of everybody else. All in green there, Terry. While you make your picks, I got to run real quick. I'll be right back.
All right. Well, I like number 7, Shell Bell. She has won 2 out of her last 3 races. She drops in class today, and she has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. The 8, Lean On E, is my second choice. She finished 3rd versus Tougher in her last race, and she drops in class today, and she has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. Number 10, Peyton's College. My third choice. She won 2 races in a row, going for a hat trick now, and the distance won't cause her any problems. And then Matty Bow, the 3, is my long shot. She likes Parx racing. She's been in the money 57% of the starts here, winning 29% of the races. The distance will not be the problem. She's been in the money 60% of the time, winning 40% of the races. So anyway, we're back. I guess he's not back yet. So I'd say if you like what you see here, which I know you're going to, go ahead and subscribe to YouTube and hit that little bell so that you get notified of all of our different shows, and hit the link down at the bottom, copy it, give it to all your friends and neighbors so they can come and check us out too. All right.
Yeah, so far we are a lot of common stuff in there. I don't know why that would be, but Shell Bell is the top pick for me too. You got Jamie Ness, Michael Sanchez. Did run better fractions last out. Second up off the layoff. Improvement is coming today. Matty Bow, the 3-horse. Really good chance to be forward today. Winner 4-10 at the distance. Raced 10 times at any other and did not win. The 8-horse Lean On E, really consistent. Race to race to race. 4 incremental speed figure improvements in a row. And then number 5, Clo Rose, my final choice in here. Last race was a lot better than it looks. Similar fractions, despite not looking like that on paper. At Parx, 5 times out, 2 wins and a second. And today, going to get Paco Lopez. So you know it'll be pretty good aggressive ride in there. Number 6 is what we'll do. That's the middle race card here. Again, we agree. First 3, I don't know what that means today, Terry, because normally we're not like that, but today we are.
It's not very normal that we agree on so many races, but who knows? Anyway, this is a 6.5 furlong. It's a claiming race, $7,500 claiming price, purse $21,000 for 3-year-olds or 4-year-olds and upward, which have never won 2 races.
And 6.5 furlong profile of a winner. We saw a lot of them yesterday. Being middle forward, a great place to be. 1 out of 3. Being on the lead is the best place to be. Big rail edge for Scamp Walker. 2 and 3 play fair. 4 and out, a penalty. Again, closer to the rail, the better. Inside 3 speed in race number 6, Terry. And looks like all the speed is in the middle.
Yeah, that's true. The 3 has the most speed, followed up by the 4 and the 5. But I think that 3, if it gets a good break, should get the quarter pole first. The 1 shows an overlay from about 7-5 to 3-1, and the 2 has an overlay from 4-1 to 8-1. None of them show any par plus numbers, and all but the 6 have C zones, and most of them are really good.
Yeah, should be a race that everybody's pretty comfortable in. A pretty balanced race, though, probably a little bit heavy again towards the middle or back. The 3 or 5, are they going to be on the lead? It looks like they'll both be up front. The Great Pumpkin, our good friend Racemaster, he said he might not play the Great Pumpkin today. So something going wrong there. Milagroso going to be the one that's coming the quickest at the end, although the other 2 closers should be right on its tail. Though Milagroso will be much more forward than the 2 closers today. Milagroso does check in as your top total pace horse. 5 points clear of checking boxes. Maybe we should be different there. Maybe I should put the 7 on top there, Terry.
Well, I like in this race the 1 horse, Scamp Walker. He finished third in his last race. His best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters. The rail post win at 23% clip. Has a high percentage win trainer, wins 31% of the races in the second race after claiming a horse. My man Woody, the 5, is my second choice. He ran second in this last race, has the highest last speed rating. He has the highest high percentage winning trainer. I like 3 checking boxes. He has a high percentage winning trainer who wins 20% of the sprints he has a horse running in, and has a good workout on July 3rd. Number 6, Liberty Runner. My long shot cuts it to a shorter distance, which will help. And he has a high percentage winning trainer, wins 33% of the races when taking a horse from a sprint to a route to a sprint. I'm going to play the third Miami Vice pick 4. Don Johnson. It's a 1-3-5-6 with the 2-7, with the 1-5, with the 1-4-6-7-9 and 10. That's a $48 ticket.
Well, same 3 horses up front today. Scamp Walker, you asked why different today. Scary Creations. Well, I know you mentioned he was on the rail, but last time out, he did show some major signs of life. So maybe a better race today. My man Woody, last time out, almost hit at this level. Much better numbers at the end of the race. Checking boxes going to drop in class after being better through the first half mile last time out. That question mark for me is the second up being 50-50. And then Milagroso is that top total pace horse, 5 points clear of everybody else. Does have the most late speed, and as we saw in our pace handicapping, should be in the middle of the pack there. So should be in a good stalking position with a chance to use those late legs. Let's start the second half of the card with lucky race number 7.
Okay, let's do that. It's going to drop back to 6 furlongs, and it's going to be an optional claiming race, $25,000 claiming price, $26,000 purse for fillies and mares 3-year-olds and upward, which have started for $16,000 or less and which have never won 3 races, or claiming price at $25,000 and which have never won 3 races.
And at 6 furlongs, again, speed, got to be fast. Almost 40% wire to wire. Rail bonus for Royal Party, 2 and 3 fair. Again, 4 and out, closer to the rail, the better. Terry, take us through all the early speed again.
All right. Well, in this race here, the 5 shows the most speed, and followed up by the 4. They could go head to head, although the 5 has, according to the numbers, about twice the amount of speed. The 1 shows, no, the 1 does not show. I'm sorry, the 3 shows the overlay of from about 3 to 5 to 6 to 1. The 3 and the 2 have a par plus numbers, and all but the 3 shows C zones, although the 1 and 2 are kind of low.
Our race shape for the 7th race: 2 and 5 out front, everybody else middle back. Our early speed tells us the 5 horse Princess Cupid, about a length faster than Love to Eat, don't we all? Only one that doesn't look like it's, well, these 3 down here maybe not evolved early, but at the end they should get themselves into the race. Sandria does have the most late speed, should be the most forward of the closers. Maybe not quite left arrow action, but really mid-pack type. Our total late speed does belong to Sandria, about 3 points quicker than Frosted Diamond, one of the ones. Tempest Rising, those are your top 4, although you got 3 in green, with the 6 being, 6 points clear of the 4. So maybe the 3, the 7, and the 6 are the way to go, Terry.
All right. Well, in this race, I like the 7 Frosted Diamond. Finished 4th and after being bumped, and she has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey and a bullet workout on July 16th. Number 2, Love to Eat, ran second versus similar in her last race. She has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. She's my second choice. Princess Cupid, the 5, is my third choice. Her early speed running style will help her chances. She switches to high percentage winning jockey, and she has a high percentage winning trainer. Tempest Rising, the 4, is my long shot. She finished 3rd versus similar in her last race, and she has a high percentage winning trainer who wins 18% of the sprints that he has a horse running in. So there you go.
All right, well, a little bit different. Now I'm going to take the 3 horse. Doesn't make Terry's list. I don't know if that's good or bad, but it is taking a considerable class drop, and maybe we're going to get a bounce back race for the horse with the biggest likelihood to go at a par plus at a price. Frosted Diamond, the 7 horse, bullet workout between races. Last time out, chased some pretty fast fractions. The 2 horse, Love to eat. Speed, more speed, and then fade hard in the last. Maybe cutting back in distance today is the difference maker. And then the 5-horse Princess Cupid, speed and fade too. The first up, following more than a year off on the sidelines. Switch to the top jockey, Michael Sanchez, might be a tell that this horse is ready to improve after an extended time in the barn. Race 8 is next for you and I, Terry. Not a lot of time between races, so let's talk about that one.
6.5 furlongs, claiming race, $15,000 claiming price. It's a $28,000 purse for 3-year-olds and upward, which have not won a race since April 23rd. Claiming races of 12,500 or less not considered, or which have never won 4 races.
All right, again, to get to fourth win at 6.5 furlongs, horse better be fast. It's kind of an ongoing theme at Parx. Yesterday, really, a lot of horses got to the front and stayed there. 1 out of 3 wins on the front. Big Rail Edge, Fast Bob. So if Fast Bob is fast, could run right to the winner's circle. 2 and 3 fair. Penalty for everything 4 and out. Closer to the rail again, the better. So on race number 8, we do find a little bit of inside speed.
Yep, that 2 and 4 show the most speed, and they're really close to the speed according to the data. So they should go head to head if they both get a good break. That 1 shows an overlay from almost 4-1 to 6-1. The 11 shows an overlay from 2-1 to 12-1. That's a nice overlay. 11 and 6 show the only par plus numbers, and all but the 5 shows C-zones numbers, and most of those are pretty good.
Again, we have a lot of different colors in here. Green, so a race that looks like it could be open. Really no prohibitive morning line favorite. Maybe Eagle Man fitting in there as that. Our trip handicapping, a pretty balanced race in here. Again, those still kind of fat on the back end. The 4-horse Kate's Golden Dude, the lone EP type in there. So anytime you get a Sesame Street horse in the EP or PC type, those are ones that you got to keep an eye on. In the beginning of the race, it does look like JW Strictly Mischief. That one's a lot quicker than everybody else up on the front there. Maybe get out to a lead ahead of everybody else. Fast Bob going to be coming the hardest at the end and maybe in the back half of the pack. Finally, our top total pace horse in here is JW's Tricky Mischief. A little bit faster than Fast Bob, Eagle Man, or Enforcer. Wide open race. The winner usually comes from those 4, Terry. And the 1 horse getting the first call for us and second in that space.
Yeah, I like Fast Bob. He ran second versus similar in his last race. The rail post winning 23% clip, and he has a high percentage winning jockey and trainer, Mr. Roundtree, the 5's second choice. He drops in class today, has the highest speed figure at today's distance, and has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. Eagle Man, the 9, is my 3rd choice. Finished 3rd versus similar his last race as a favorite, but this trainer has wins 30% of the races when bringing the beaten favorite back again, and he has a high percentage winning jockey. And his best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters. I like the 4 as my long shot. Kate's Golden Dude. He drops in class today, has a high percentage winning trainer, and switches to high percentage winning jockey.
Again, Terry and I at the top of the ticket being the same. Fast Bob just missed by a little in his last. Getting some more distance today is helpful. Number 9, Eagle Man, 3 consecutive speed figure increases in a row for Jamie Ness, Ruben Silvera. There's that dynamic duo again. Rerun his last race, probably enough to win. Also missed just by a neck as the 1 and the 9. They kind of just hit at the wire at the same time, although the 1 did pass the 9 at 6 furlongs. So at 6.5 furlongs, a little bit more space, and the distance probably would have been wider. Kate's Golden Dude drops in class after running a better race than it looks with faster fractions. And then finally, the 7-horse Leader of Men. I'm going to take a little bit of a flyer here with a track dropper. Best published work of any of them was at Parx. So maybe this one's a hidden, at least for now, horse for the course. Race 9 is the beginning of the late pick 4, Terry. It's also a bunch of first-time starters in there. It's kind of tough to see what's going on there. Leader of Men, huge track drop. I see that. Bullet Work out the track, 12-1 morning line. We're running to the window. Yeah, I agree with you. I see that same thing in there. Hopefully, it's in the pick 4 for me. Hopefully, it does come home with that.
Yep.
At Parx in race number 9, Mr. Terry, all these babies, what are they doing?
4.5 furlongs, a maiden $42,000 purse for maidens 2-year-olds.
And with all these horses making their first start, or just a handful of them with some one race experience, no data, so just straight to picks for race number 9.
Yeah, I'm going to start off with number 9, Fire Pit, the one horse or one of the horses that does have at least a race. He ran second in his only start. His best start speed is fastest among today's starters, and he has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. Number 6, Curious Soul, is a first-time starter whose dam has one winner from one starter, and he has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. The 7, The Tire Man, finished third versus similar in his only start and is trained by Lewis Linder Jr. And then number 10, Chili Boss, is my long shot. Finished, he's a first-time starter whose dam has 6 winners from 7 starters. He has a good workout on July 9th. I'm going to play the last pick 4, Miami Vice, Don Johnson, 4, 6, 7, 9. I'm going to single the 6, and then I'm going to use the 1, 5, and then I'm going to go all in the last race.
I'm going to start with the 9. Any second race improvement for Fire Pit, and the others are going to have to do something fairly special to beat it. Analog Jones, the 4 horse, is the only first-time starter that gets 3 out of 3 points on my 3-point scale. July 2nd work is the key, 5 furlongs in 59 and 1. The 1 horse, Friday Surprise, a little bit of a price right there. Back Bullet on July 5th, 4 furlongs, 47, breezing from the gate. Tells me there's a little bit of talent in this guy. And then Chili Boss, another first-time starter for me. Great breeding. The trainer hits, but the workouts, they aren't a hit. 1, 4, 9 over the 3, 6 over the 4, 5, 7, 8 over the 3, 4, 11, and 12 in that back end. We're about 2 minutes away from race number 2. Terry, you think we can race through race number 10?
Let's do it.
Yeah, there's not that many horses in race 10, so let's give it a whirl.
All right. So race 10 is 6.5 furlongs, optional claiming race, $40,000 claiming price, purse $52,000 for fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and upward, which have not won 2 races that are the maiden claiming starter or state bred, or which have never won 3 races, or a claiming price of $40,000.
Mentioning that the 2 horse, Reed has been winning these first timers, so you like the 4 horse too. When do you see Wink's sister won her first start at Hawkberry the other day? Did you see? I did not see that. Did you see that, Terry?
Nope.
At 6.5 furlongs, we do got to go quick. Again, early speed, a third to go wire to wire. Inside to outside edge, Terry, who's got the speed in race 10?
Well, the 5 and the 3 show the most speed. They could go head to head. The 1 has the overlay from almost 3 to 1 to 8 to 1. The 2 has an overlay from 7 to 2 to 8 to 1. And the 4 has an overlay from about 3 to 1 to 8 to 1. The 6 shows a par plus number, and all of them have C zones.
All right, real quick on our race shape for race number 10. Perfectly balanced. You got the 4, the lone PC type. Look out for that. At the beginning of the race, does look like Beneath the Stars, the closer, is by far the fastest out of the gate. Left arrow action all day right there. Looking at our late pace, Mia Tosca, the favorite, has about a 7-point advantage over Foy's Magic. Finally, those 2 are considerably better than everybody else with our total pace. 7 points clear. Terry, real quick, who are your picks?
Okay, I like number 6, Mia Tosca, as my pick of the day at Parx. She's won 2 races in a row, going for a hat trick. She has a high percentage winning trainer. Yesterday, the 3 is my second choice, has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey who wins 22% of the races when chipping a horse in to compete. His best start speed is fastest among today's starters, and his best starts. And then I like the 4 as my third pick. He won 4 out of 5 races at Parx Racing, and the distance won't be a problem, as he has a win and he's only started today's distance. They added Lasix. Then I like the 1, Emirates Affair. She likes Parx Racing. She's been in the money 78% of the time, winning 22% of those races, and been in the money 100% of the time at today's distance.
I think yesterday I agree with Scary Creations. If there's anything left in this horse, Track Dropper from Churchill Downs. Second, the only time it ran at Parx in a $250,000 non-graded stakes race. Clearly lighter company here. Mia Tosca did run the top last race. Speed figure was 8 points better than the next closest one. And the CV says the third after layoff should be about the same. Emirates Affair, the 1 horse first off the sidelines. That's probably when the horse runs best, because the last time it came out of the barn, it won by 8 1/4 lengths. And then Beneath the Stars is that C-Zone horse in there that has the left arrow action. It's another Jamie Ness horse with Mikel Sanchez, and does have a pretty aggressive early speed advantage at a distance where 1/3 go wire to wire. Race number 2, Terry, it looks like, I don't know, something funny going on there, but they're not showing the gate at the moment. But it does look like the one horse, Lip Lock, is the prohibitive favorite. And then next up on the board is it looks like the 3 horse, Shackelford County, our top pick there. So that one's next up. I'm not quite sure what's going on here with the video. Did something happen at the track that they don't want to show on the screen?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't hear any update from Jessica Paquette. And usually when they're loading, you see the horses going in, right?
Yeah, you usually do. They don't usually have it way back.
No. Well, here they don't even have it way back. Now they just have the odds up on the screen. So I wonder if something funky happened at the track, because a lot of times when something funny happens, they go about not putting it on camera. I do not hear anything or see anything, so no. I don't really have anything to add in that regard.
It appears to me that from what I can see here in FanDuel TV, it appears that all the jockeys, or most of the jockeys, are off their horse.
So somebody's going to scratch is what's going to happen.
Maybe. Huh? Well, now I see the jockeys are, and they're circling some horses. No, it's hard to see.
Yeah, I have TVG, so I don't know what's going on either. Well, let's do race number 11 then, right? And we'll keep it up on the screen, and then we'll see what happens.
All right.
So probably have enough time to do that one too. The first leg of the late double.
It's a mile, optional claiming, $50,000 claiming price, $53,000 purse for 3-year-olds and upwards, which have never won 3 races other than maiden claiming starter or state bred, which have never won 4 races, or claiming price of $50,000, or which have not won a race since April 23rd.
Yes. So it sounds like they're going in right now, but I still don't see it on my screen. So I don't know what the hell's going on. So let's go back to race number 2 then, Terry. We'll go back to race number 11 in a minute.
Okay.
So I hear Jessica Paquette in my ear. All right, there we go. Now I see the screen. All right. So we have a few of them getting into the gates, just a few to go in race number 2. It does look like, according to our simulations, we expect the 8 or the 3 to get to the lead. The bettors expect the 1 horse to come in first, then the 8, then the 3. Looks like they're all lined up. They're about ready to go, waiting on the 8 horse, wishing on a prayer to get into the gates. Once that horse is loaded, they should be ready to go. It's not putting up too much. Yeah, that one doesn't. Of course, the last one doesn't want to go in, right? And then we saw the last time a horse did that. It just darted out to the lead and ran way too fast. But this one's a lot less hostile than the 4 horse was. Although this time around, you got a bunch of horses in the middle getting impatient. You got them all squared up. They got them all ready to go. And then if you bet the 5 horse, your day is probably done in that respect. Who knows? The 8 horse does jump to the lead along with the 4 horse. She Got Game. But we predicted that the 8 horse would get to the lead. He's indeed in that space. Cleared pretty easily. The 4 horse sitting in second at 11-1. She Got Game. To the outside is the 6. Linda's Heart, then down on the rail, the 3 horse, Shackelford Count. They had 23-2, although this time they're running a lot shorter race than they did last time. The 8 horse continues to set the tone early on. The 3 horse trying to make up some room on the rail there, trying to chase that guy down. They go through the turn. It does look like the 3 horse is moving better than the 8 horse at this moment. 8 horse kind of sliding up the track a little bit, opening up the rail for the 3. Opening half in 47 seconds. So now the 8 horse biting down a little bit, deciding it wants to go a little bit faster. The 3 horse moving up off the rail to the outside. The 1 horse, as your 1-1 favorite, being asked to go. Jockey's trying to get the 3 horse to change leads. It looks like it may have finally done so. Trying to run down that 8 horse. So the 8 horse continues to hold the lead. The 1 horse trying to get in the mix. I don't think he's going to get there. Looks like this 8 horse is going to come out and corral him. It's going to go 8, 1, 3, and then 6. 8, 3, 1, and 6. So we're both alive with that front runner getting out there, the one that had the top chance to get to the lead and the top C-zone score. We've seen those horses win quite a lot. Looking over here at race number 2, 8-horse grading out as the third best in that respect. All right, Terry, now we'll go back to the 11th race to finish up what we started. Let's just start from the scratch again. What are they running for here?
Okay, they're going to – all right, so let me get back here. It's going to be running a mile. It's an optional claiming race, $50,000 claiming price. Purse $53,000 for 3-year-olds and upwards, which have never won 3 races other than a maiden claiming starter or state bred, or which have never won 4 races, or claiming price of $50,000, or which have not won a race since April 23rd.
And at 1 mile, the kind of horse that typically gets the job done does have some early speed, Terry. We do see that about 40% of them win wire to wire. There is a little bit of a rail penalty. 2 and 3 a bonus, 4 through 7 a discount, 8 and out a small bonus again, Mr. Terry. So speed again being crucial. We did see that 8-horse jump to the lead in this most recent race. Who's going to jump to the lead in the first leg of the late double?
Looks like the 7's going to do that, although several have some speed, but I think the 7 will get that quarter pole first. The 4 has overlay from 3 to 1 to 6 to 1. The 5 has an overlay from 8 to 5 to 2 to 1. The 8 has an overlay from about 5 to 2 to 7 to 2. 5, 8, and 4 show par plus numbers, and they all show C zones, although that 2 is really low.
Yeah, you got 4 of them above 50%. The race 11 got a lot of versatile horses in here with the 5, 6, 7, and 8. Those 4 horses on the outside, they can really kind of go on the track where they want. The 1, 2, and 3, 4, they want to close. So I would suspect that these horses are really going to dictate the way the pace goes. I wouldn't be surprised to see some slower fractions here today, although somebody will send. It looks like Windsor Gold is the one that will send of the EP horses. He's about a length and a half faster than everybody else. 8-horse to its outside, and the only 2 that look kind of competitive, and 1 wants to close. So I think the 7-horse gets to the front, Terry. Praetorian Guard, that one's going to be coming the best, although should be way back at the beginning. Best Sugar Daddy Ever. That one also has some late speed, along with Adero, the 8-horse. Looking at the top total pace horse, it is Adero with Best Sugar Daddy Ever. They're 6 points clear of everybody else. Those 2 should be really important factors in here, though. I wonder if the race shape does set up for the 7, though.
Well, I like the 1 Loose Ends. He ran second in his last race as a favorite, but this high percentage winning jockey wins 28% of the time when bringing a beaten favorite back. He has a high percentage winning jockey. Best Sugar Daddy Ever, the 5 is my second choice. He has 3 wins out of 4 starts, including winning the last race, and he has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. And then the 8 is my third choice, finished third in his last race. He has a high percentage winning trainer, wins 22% of the allowance races. He has an entry in, and he has a highest last race speed rating. And then the 7, Windsor Gold, is my long shot. Ran second in his last race at Parx Racing, has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey.
The 5-horse, it's to be the one on top for me. I don't know. This race seemed like it's pretty open to me. Best Sugar Daddy Ever, though, is the most consistent horse racing at this level, putting up numbers that would typically win. Adero, the 3rd up after a layoff, that most classic handicapping angle for the 8-horse. Very difficult to beat when he does run at this level, and at times has some pretty crazy late speed. So get forward, maybe has a shot. Irish Cork, the 4-horse, the 3rd call, another that has some stakes level late speed at times in here. It is a Tom type, though, at the distance. Doesn't really like to win, but loves to finish second. 13 races, 1 win, 1/3, and in between the 2, 9 seconds. So maybe I should scoot that one to the left. And then number 7, Windsor Gold. I think that one could get off to a big enough lead here versus a field that wants to be middle back that could steal this race. The final race of the day today, Terry, race number 12. You and I will be back tomorrow and Thursday for Saratoga. And then on Friday, Tom and I for 4. And Friday's We'll try to take down Royal well, it's not Royal Ascot. It's just Ascot now. That'll be a fun Foreign Friday, of course. And make sure you subscribe if you haven't to all of our social sites. You see them scrolling down there below. And kindly tell your friends about us. I want to say thank you for the comments today. All interaction helps us with the technology algorithms. We appreciate that. Terry, let's see if we can help ourselves find another winner.
All right, it's a 7-furlong race, claiming $7,500 claiming price, purse $21,000 for 3-year-olds and upwards, which have not won 4 races.
6, 7 furlongs. We did talk about that one being the one where early speed is the least consequential. Only 20% go wire to wire. Still pretty decent. Inside 3, that's the best place to be. 4 and out. Again, the farther you are from the rail, the less likely you are to win. Inside speed in the dozenth race for the day, Terry. Maybe one on the sort of inside has that speed.
Yeah, the 4 shows the most speed. Some others have some minor amount of speeds in here. And then the 4 has an overlay from about 8 to 5 or 6 to 7 to 5 to 5 to 1. The 8 has an overlay from 5 to 1 to 6 to 1. 4, 12, and 11 show the only par plus numbers. And all but the 8 have C-zone numbers.
Final time today, we look at the race shape. Look at 4 and 13 up front. Everybody else middle back. Get to the lead. You've probably got a good shot here in this race, Terry. Smart and fast might be the quickest of all. Although you got another one of those left arrow horses in K-Bod. Dalton in that mix as well, but that one wants to be up front. Chip's Friend, the front runner as well, might not get there. So wouldn't be surprised to see that one discouraged. Predominate is the closer of the closers. We'll be kind of way back there, though. Our top total pace grouping, we got the 1, the 4, the 12, and the 11 as your top 4 in there, Terry. Maybe in a bunch of them in green. Which order do you have them in?
Well, this is a wide open race, but I went with the 11 as my top pick. Has been knocking at the door, running second in the last 3 races. And he has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. Number 3, Dixie's 2 Stints is my second choice. Drops in class today, switches a high percentage winning jockey, Paco Lopez, and is trained by Scott Lake. Number 4, Dalton is my third pick. He finished third versus similar versus tougher in his last race, can improve at the shorter distance, and he has the highest speed figure at today's distance. And his best start speed is fastest among today's starters. The 12, Kebab, is my long shot. Finished third versus similar in his last race at Parx Racing, has the highest last race speed rating, and he has a high percentage winning trainer. That's it for me.
All right. So for me, finish it up, the 12 horse, Kebab. Well, the trainer doesn't really enter many at Parx or anywhere for that matter. But when he does, he tends to win. And this horse was better from the beginning to the middle to the end of its last start. Also left arrow action for me. Running on cue, held speed longer at 1 mile and a 16th, so cutting back to 7 furlongs should help out. That's one of our old friend Charles's favorite handicapping angles. Dixie's 2 Stints, the 3 horse, is dropping in class after being claimed 2 races ago for $12,500. Paco rides. This is the lowest level in the last 10 starts and will be a profitable transaction if it wins. Dalton, the 4 horse, well, maybe should be rated higher according to all of our statistics in there, Terry. By far the top par plus is your simulation favorite. Good shot, especially with all the other speed scratching out to be on the lead. C-zone would like to be a little bit higher in there, but the trainer is 0 for 27 on the year. Maybe going to the lowest level in the last 10 races helps that O go. And we're all out of money. Tomorrow we'll have a little bit of extra money to spend when we're at Saratoga. Looking forward to that as always. We should start about 10 minutes for post. Again, like Terry said, subscribe, hit the bell, give us thumbs up so that you know when we're about to go live for Saratoga tomorrow. Here are our full picks, as our good friend Scary Creations pointed out. A lot of commonality between Terry and I, just a few places today that we differ. Hopefully tomorrow we have a lot more opposing opinions. All right, Terry, any final thoughts before we check out of here on this terrific Terry Tuesday?
Well, we're having another heat wave here in the West, and I'm hoping everybody stays safe and stays cool and their air conditionings don't break down. Other than that, just tell your loved ones how you feel, because you never know what's going to happen day to day. Have a great rest of the week.
Indeed. No matter what you're doing for the rest of today, Kindly make sure you treat one another with respect and kindness. And of course, as you chase your life dreams, you chase some winners. We hope you have God's grace, God's favor in every single thing that you do. Ends up in
The winner's circle.
indeed. Dave.